Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking a truly massive shift, the philosophical leap from AI as just a passive tool to an active agent in our digital lives. We are literally standing on the edge of a totally new technological frontier. We aren't just talking about chatbots that answer your trivia questions anymore. We're looking at machines that take actual action on your behalf.
So picture this scenario, which, by the way, is quickly becoming our everyday reality. What happens when an AI doesn't just draft a quick email for you to review, but it actually reads your inbox, negotiates a software contract, or even makes a hiring decision while you're fast asleep? We're crossing a threshold where machines are doing way more than just thinking. They're doing. They're acting. And honestly, that changes absolutely everything about how we understand our own agency.
To navigate this massive shift, we're going to cover 5 key areas today. 1. From tool to actor. 2. Action without understanding. 3. The ethics of delegation. 4. Power, work, and freedom. And finally, 5. The human wisdom imperative.
All right, jumping into section 1, from tool to actor.
Now, unlike ordinary automation, an agentic AI system can actually plan and pursue goals on its own. The real game changers here are its ability to adjust to feedback and pursue goals. Think about it. A traditional computer program just runs a script from point A to point B. If it hits a wall, it stops, right? An agentic AI hits a wall, figures out how to climb over it, and keeps on going toward whatever objective you gave it. It completely blurs the line between a mere instrument, like a hammer or a calculator, and a truly independent actor operating out there in the world.
What this means is we're moving from giving direct commands to delegating broad objectives. In the past, you were the commander of a passive tool. Now, you're basically delegating to an active participant. The 20th century philosopher Martin Heidegger actually warned that technology isn't just equipment. It actively shapes how reality appears to us. So, by shifting from commanding to delegating, we are fundamentally reshaping our relationship with reality itself, letting machines make all these invisible micro-choices that construct our daily lives.
Moving right along to section 2, action without understanding.
Today, these AI systems can execute incredibly complex, real-world tasks that make them seem, well, completely human. I mean, they can write and send emails, purchase software, make rapid-fire financial decisions, and even reject job applicants. And when we see a system doing these deeply human things, our brains naturally want to anthropomorphize it. We just assume that because it's doing something a person would do, it must have some kind of human-like inner life or intention.
But as we sit back and watch these systems seamlessly coordinate our lives, we have to ask a pretty profound philosophical question. Does successful action actually prove comprehension? Think about it. If an AI correctly rejects a job candidate because they lack a specific qualification, does the AI understand what a job is? Does it grasp the concept of rejection or feel human disappointment?
Well, this brings us to the concept of the empty center, which is huge in the philosophy of mind when we talk about artificial agents. The philosopher John Searle famously proposed the Chinese room argument. It basically showed that a system can manipulate symbols perfectly, giving this amazing illusion of fluency and understanding without actually comprehending a single drop of meaning. And that's exactly what we have with agentic AI. It's an empty center. It has immense goal-directed execution, but zero subjective inner experience. It doesn't actually want to book your flight. It's literally just mathematically optimizing the steps to do it.
Which brings us to section 3. The ethics of delegation.
So what happens when an AI system scales an injustice? Let's say it automates discrimination in lending or unfairly flags someone in a policing database. Suddenly, responsibility becomes incredibly muddy across this whole chain of distributed agency. Look at it. The user just gave a simple goal. The developer just built the general architecture. The agent just executed the math. But a real human victim is out there, affected by the action. The philosopher Hannah Arendt warned us about the dangers of bureaucratic systems where no single person feels responsible for the outcome. In many ways, AI agents are becoming the ultimate bureaucratic shield.
If we look at this through the lens of Immanuel Kant, we realize something super critical. Kant argued that true moral agency requires a being capable of rational moral law. Therefore, while an AI might execute a task beautifully, we absolutely cannot delegate the moral responsibility to it. Accountability can't just be hidden inside the machine's code. If you delegate a hiring process to an agent and it discriminates, you are responsible. The machine is the actor for sure, but the human remains the moral agent.
Let's shift gears to section 4, power, work, and freedom.
As the workplace rapidly changes from humans physically doing tasks to humans merely supervising automated execution, we're facing a profound identity crisis. Human agency is craft-oriented, it's reflective, and it's conscious. Machine agency, it's just optimized and unfeeling. Thinkers like Karl Marx would look at this shift and warn of a profound new kind of alienation. We aren't just being alienated from the physical products we make anymore, we risk being alienated from the very cognitive craft of decision-making and problem-solving that gives human work its dignity in the first place.
And it goes even deeper. As philosopher Michel Foucault might observe about modern power, it rarely looks like a dictator holding a weapon anymore. Modern power works through invisible systems that quietly organize our behavior. When corporate AI agents invisibly filter our news, negotiate the prices we pay, and curate our social reality, we really have to question our convenience. Is having an AI manage your life an actual expansion of your personal freedom, or is it just a surrender to unseen corporate control architectures?
And finally, we arrive at Section 5, the human wisdom imperative.
Drawing on the ancient philosopher Aristotle, we need to clearly recognize the massive divide between raw intelligence and practical wisdom. AI brings immense, unprecedented intelligence to the table. It can optimize outcomes and execute complex tasks way faster than we ever could. But humans, and humans alone, must supply the wisdom. Wisdom is about governing those systems, determining what values actually matter, and making the moral judgments that literally no algorithm can compute.
So, moving forward, human-centered design can't just be a corporate buzzword. It means intentionally building systems where the roles are strictly defined. AI pursues the goals, but we have to define the values. AI optimizes the systems, but we must step in to protect human dignity. AI gives us incredible power, but as we all know, power requires immense judgment. We have to design systems that keep humans firmly in the loop of meaning, rather than systems that just manipulate or master us.
We can never forget this simple truth. Efficiency can be automated. Profit generation can totally be automated, but a conscience, that cannot be automated. When we create highly autonomous systems that operate without a moral compass, without that subjective inner experience we talked about earlier, we're unleashing a deeply dangerous force, unless we tether it fiercely to human oversight.
I'm going to leave you with this final philosophical test for our generation. As we continue to build these brilliant, non-human actors that will live alongside us, work for us, and totally shape our digital environments, will we rise to the challenge? Can we remain morally mature, taking full responsibility for what we set in motion, and lead these artificial agents with irreplaceable human wisdom? That is the true challenge of the agentic age. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this leaves you with a whole lot to think about the next time an AI offers to take a task off your hands.